Okay, so I'm back. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to post these as two separate ones now, but whatever. So where was I? Oh, we had to move. So my parents were like, "Oh, you can come and move over here," And I was like, "Fuck, I really didn't want to. I didn't want to at all." But we went over there, and to begin with, we went to this little trailer. It was a little camping trailer that my mom had gotten for my brother Eric when he got out of prison, but he was back in prison. And we had fixed it up cute. I had helped her or whatever, but it was parked in between her house and the mother-in-law's house. This is Wilma. That's my grandpuppy. Anyway, good girl. And so we stayed there for a minute, and then I forget what happened with the little house. What was the deal there? I think Megan, my brother's girlfriend, they had wound up living in the little house after a while when he was out. Anyway, she was moving out of there. And so we wound up going to the little house for a little while and living there, Jake and I. And it was all good and stuff and whatnot. But then, what was it? My dad needed to move my aunt into the little house. So I was like, all right, cool. So we said we could go to the trailer in the pasture back where I was before when I was with Kelly. So we were living in the trailer in the pasture. And I don't and that's when my mom brought Johnny into the picture the first time to split up my first marriage. Because Jake was working, we had gotten a car, a Camaro. It was one of 5 that I had. Well, that was his. I had 4 or whatever. Anyways, um, and he was working. He was working doing the asphalt. He was getting back and forth to work. It was all good, and he had been doing trees before, tree job, but and then he was at work one day, and Johnny came with another friend of mine from school, which I'm certain my mom sent him over there. And she did some voodoo shit on me. And I started hanging out with him, and we would go, and Jake knew, and we would go partying and hanging out while Jake was at work. And Jake was awesome. He was my best friend. He was an amazing husband, and he's an amazing guy. And he's in heaven now, and I love you, Jake. You were amazing, always. And, you know, the one time in my life that I ever cheated on anybody, and I wound up falling for Johnny, and so I told Jake, and that I was in love with Johnny, and that was that. There went my husband, and he had wrecked the Camaro, and then, anyways, he went to go live in Sacramento, over by where he was working at Elkhorn, and I was distressed. I was distressed because Johnny went back to Oklahoma after we broke up my marriage. And I was planning on going with him, I thought, but that was never the deal. He was there just to fuck up my marriage and leave. And I get that now. I never did get it before. I get it now. And so I was living there by myself. I finally got a hold of myself, and I was like, I was doing good. I was enjoying by myself time. And I had contemplated going to Oklahoma to look for Johnny for some stupid reason. You know, I was just like, because he left, I never got any closure. And here I thought I was in love with him because it was stupid voodoo. I hated the guy in school. I couldn't stand the guy. I couldn't stand him. He was a jackass, a total jerk. And anyway, and the same with Brian. I felt that same way about Brian. I never could stand him. But I'm living there happily all by myself, and my mom couldn't have that, or my dad, because they were planning to steal my money this whole time. Little did I know. And they had tried to drown me. And they gave me that car. My Camaro that I had was like souped up. It was super, super, super fast and powerful. And I drove it off a cliff. And thank the angels and my God that I didn't die. And I wasn't going to die. I was never going to die. I'm still not going to die because I have a job to do. I'm here to do a job. But they couldn't have me happy, and so they sent Brian over to the trailer, to the pasture, to come and look for Tim, my other brother, supposedly. And I was like, what the hell do you want? You know? But then all of a sudden, this guy that I couldn't stand, here I was infatuated with him. All of a sudden, I fell in love. I thought, what the hell is going on here? But I was in love, you know? And I thought, Rachel, you can't stand this guy. He's called Lion Brian for a reason. Why are you falling for him? But I was in love. I was in love. And I got pregnant right away. And that's where my daughter came in. And my parents said, oh, you know, you can come live at the little house now, because my aunt had moved into her own little fifth wheel or whatever. And so they told us to come down. Oh, because they had to the trailers had to go. The county was on them, and we had to get rid of the trailers from the pasture. So we had to get out of the trailers. So they said, come down to the little house. So we went, and we were living at the little house and we had my baby shower, and the baby was born. And little did I know until now, and of course my daughter doesn't know, but I know now that my mom tried to kill my daughter as well. She tried to drown her as well. I know you did, Sally. Don't even lie. Don't even lie. Putrid excuse of a woman. Anyway, you can't kill us. Hello. Anyways, so I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there for now. And I'll post both of these, and I'll come back and pick it up there sometime soon. Okay? Peace, love, and light. I love you all. And have a good evening, says Rachel, the Earth Angel. Bye.